Daryl Eastlake to take us through what's going to be a beauty as Holden take on for the traditional enemies, Daryl.
On Yeti, yeah, I think it will be a good one too. Mark Scaife, of course, sits on pole. 31 cars starting here. Will run quickly through the grid. Johnson, Bright, as you saw there. Ambrose started on pole yesterday, but well back a little bit today to row 4. Todd Kelly's done pretty well there. Craig Lowndes has improved dramatically since first hitting the Albert Park circuit here. David Besnard back a little bit further than I thought he would be.
Yes, Daz. Well, there was a vicious rumour going around about Ambrose's pole as well. There was a few people suggesting that perhaps he missed a chicane, which took a little bit of time off that he would normally have not have had. And he did go backwards a little bit in that race, but still a really good effort for him.
Certainly was. Larry Perkins a long way back too, and he drove so well yesterday in a special demonstration, which you're going to see over the weekend, where a Formula One car takes on his car, and Alan Moffat in a sedan car. It was quite a thrilling bit of television yesterday. Now look, Jonesy, when you look at this, Holden 20 wins, Ford 10 wins, but their last win was in 1996, race 1, Glenn Seaton that year in Melbourne, but 35 races and also Holden have been very dominant.
Well, they are, Daz, and I've got the feeling that if Ford look like getting any closer to HSV or HRT, they'll just turn the wick up a little bit extra as well.
Russell Ingall, 7 in a row for him. Mark Scaife, 5 times winner. John Bowe, Tony Longhurst, they're the top runners here, but gee whiz, it's always been an exciting race, hasn't it?
It certainly has. There's Stephen Johnson. He went particularly well yesterday. He's got that Falcon up there, and Paul Radishes, he's a bit of a dark horse. He's pulling up right behind Stephen now. He's a very good racer, and expect to have big things from him this weekend, or particularly today.
Well, there they are. Johnson's car, he drove very, very well. He took advantage and went past 4 or 5 cars going into a corner yesterday. Just made a very brave move. But you've said it to me in the past, haven't you? Dick Johnson cars are always competitive.
They are. Every year, Dick always brings out a competitive car. They've never, ever been down in the old grunt department. But Stephen's using that to his best possible advantage, and he's up there on the front row.
So it's Holden and Ford on the front row. Mark Scaife, particularly good drive yesterday, was challenged pretty much for most of the race by Garth Tander, who made a mistake and dropped back a little to give Scaife the win. But Tander was right in it, but he's back a bit this time. We get the green flag from the back of the field. All of the mechanics from the Formula Ones come out for the V8s. Here we go. The revs build up and they're away. Scaife gets a great start. So does Johnson. Now they go side by side down to the first corner.
It's Johnson's corner.
And Bright's got a great start too. Here they come. Look at Johnson. Johnson.
Bright round the outside. Oh, they've all gone straight ahead. Bright's gone straight ahead. Stephen's gone straight ahead.
And I'll tell you who else got a great start is Ingall too. Look at Ingall. He's up into second place. Radishes went well too. John Watchers joins us.
Yeah, just I think that Paul Radisich managed to avoid all the carnage. He's taken the lead in this race. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as Paul would say.
I didn't know he spoke like that, John.
Well, he lived in England a long time, Alan, as you know.
Look at the gaggle of cars as they make their way through. One of the Valvoline cars getting a little bit wide at the end, but there's a lot of traffic here, 31 cars. But at the moment, up front it's Ford.
And Ingall pushing very hard indeed. Lennon's dropped back a little bit too by the look of things. I'll be interested to see how he comes up.
Well, that first corner was amazing because the cars coming from row 2 and 3 just powered their way through and just muscled it. Tander's got some damage too. That's a shame because yesterday he was really aggressive, right up behind Scaife, but this is going to be a battle now.
Oops, one of the Kiwis.
Look at this circuit. Have a look at that shot with the V8s coming around here. Tell me there's a better shot in motor racing than that. Not even Monaco can rival that. That is fantastic. And look at them now. They've strung out a little bit, but it's still a Ford out in front. Dick Johnson racing a great job. The Castrol Commodore of Ingall comes up in behind him. He wasn't on the money yesterday, but he certainly got aggressive today. Came off the line.
Ambrose on the inside and just knocked Stephen Johnson out of the way. That was a bit silly.
Johnson out into the kitty litter, and I doubt if he'll get out from there. Gee whiz, he went off quick, AJ.
Well, he was helped off quick. I mean, Marcus just came in basically where I didn't think there was any room.
Well, if Steve Johnson hadn't been there, Marcus would have ended up down in St Kilda.
Russell Ingall now starts to get a sniff, gets right up under the Ford's bumper, under the wing as they come up over the start-finish line yet again, and Ingall takes the Holden right up behind him now. Have a look at this. It's Ford and Holden, then Ford again. So Ford doing well. Ingall now tucks up behind him. Can't get him from there. getting some momentum up now.
This V8 supercar racing, Daz and John, has just gone from strength to strength. You go through the paddock now, it's all the transporters are brilliant. Here's a replay of the start. You can see Radish is going down the inside. Oh, Bright tries to go around the outside. I don't know what happened to Bright. He just went straight ahead. Just in the wrong position at the wrong time, 100%.
Scaife was a big loser there too.
Yes, he was, but it was a very tight move from Radicic. He put himself on the inside. Bright had no choice. He just had to go out to keep away from contact. But now look at the pressure. This is just like last year.
Well, he certainly swallowed the brave pills, because that was a big move up the inside round the corner. Ingle all over the back of him, but he just lacks that little bit of horsepower to get right up behind him. He'll have to do it under brakes. He'll have to do the move like Radic made on the first corner.
What I was saying, Daz, before you go through the paddock now, the supercar paddock, all the transporters are fantastic. I mean, the difference in supercar racing in the last 4 years is phenomenal. I mean, it is so competitive now.
So it's Paul Radicic. There he is. Ingle, Bow, Ambrose, Richardson, Seaton. So the Holden Racing team, so dominant yesterday, not in the results at the moment. Certainly got the big squeeze on the first corner, but that's always been the case here. That corner has always caused a lot of problems.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I just look, there's 5 Fords in the top 6, so Henry should be happy at the moment.
Well, I've talked about parity, they've talked about even competition. Well, let's hope we're in for a season of it this year, because last year's battle was fantastic. The Fords were just a little bit off the pace. This is a different ballgame.
Yeah, but remember last year, Radicic was very, very strong. He won 3 of the 4 races. And I think it was Ingle won the 4th race just to prevent Radicic getting that clean sweep.
Ingle looks comfortable to me, Johnny. He just looks like he's sitting there and gives me the impression if he could get past, he would probably drive away. Although Paul has got plenty of grunt down the straight.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Ford seems to have the straight line speed, but when it comes to coming out of the corner, getting the power down, then under braking, Ingle seems to be in control. And knowing Russell as I do, the guy will wait. If an opportunity doesn't arise, I suspect in the last lap he'll force one.
Johnny Bow going very well as well. Replay coming up here, and
oh dear,
wow, nice big hit into there too. Rodney Forbes going into the wall, throws it around, drops it, and gets underway again. Well, if you're going to spin here, you're going to hit something. You've got to be very lucky to get up into that gravel and get pulled up quickly. They're big, heavy cars and going at tremendous speeds. I mean, the international people just love these cars. They just think they're fantastic. Johnny Bow going well.
Yes, there's all the surveys that we do after the meeting. It always says that the V8 supercars are by far and away the most popular support category that are here. And, I mean, the crowd just loves them. As you rightly say, all the Formula One blokes come out to the fence to watch them.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. They come out on the walls, they cheer and yell, and they just love the sound of them and the way that they slip and slide around the track.
Yeah, they don't have very much downforce. They don't have very much grip. They've got gobs of horsepower. That makes the cars look exciting. They're exciting to drive. That's what the fans want to see.
Team Seaton, flames shooting out the side of the pipes, trying to catch up. Johnny Bow's making some inroads now. Lowndes is up into 9th spot. So he's there he is there now, the silver and black car coming around. So he's certainly made some distance up. He's got ahead of his main team, the Holden Racing team. So Lowndes on a charge at the moment. Let's hope he can close the gap a little bit and be the cat amongst the pigeons.
Well, he came up very well yesterday, Daz, didn't he? And I think he was a bit of a loser in that first corner melee, but yeah, there's a lot of promise there, isn't there, considering this is their first race. I know Freddie Gibson said, oh, well, it's just another car. When people said, well, can you make the Ford go as quick as the Holden? He said, well, it's just another car, why not? Well, I hasten to say that he had a Holden last year, and he couldn't keep it up to the HRT. That was just another car.
Yeah, Freddie, he plays some strange line goes, Freddie Gibson, but by geez,
someone coming down the inside here, Daz.
That's Lowndes. That's Lowndes up on the inside
yes,
as we speak.
True.
Yes, it is, and he really is aggressive now. He picks up another place to Craig Lowndes. He's fired up. He's been copping it from the fans here. Let me tell you, you walk through the paddock and all the fans are saying you're a traitor. You've turned your back on Holden. You've only done it for the money, and he really is fired up to prove that he's a racing car driver, and it's the challenge that he wants to get out of this. He's doing this to try and bridge the gap, and I tell you, if it works, it's going to be some ding-dong battles throughout the year. Look at the way he's picking them up now. Fantastic driving from from him. But Russell Ingall now, Johnny Bow closing up too. Johnny Bow's found some pace.
Well, it looks to me, and I know it's only a short race, but it looks like the Falcons are looking after their tyres a little bit better than the Holdens, because look at Bowie now. Look, he's having a real go, and he's bringing Ambrose along with him.
And all this is happening, of course. Radicic, having just set the fastest lap of the race, and now Bow's in trouble. He's got a problem.
Yeah, he's down on horsepower. Oh, look at Ambrose. Look.
Great action there, though.
Yeah.
Look, what?
You'll never do it to Bowie there, son.
No,
Never. You come off a loser.
But Ingall's coming back at Bow again.
It's close too, I'll tell you. And obviously a bit of panel damage there. Tyres rubbing in onto the bodywork. You'll probably keep it going, making sure that he can keep the car going around. Whether or not the tyre will last, another thing. But John Bow now, he's a hard man, Johnny Bow. Good racer, but he's a very fair racer.
Very fair, very hard, but that was, you know, quite a bit of inexperience showing through on Ambrose's part there. I mean, no way in the wide world he's ever going to go around the outside of John Bow in that corner.
Well, he got it wrong in the opening lap up the inside. He's got it wrong around the outside. Maybe if he tries the centre.
Well, who would have thought this? We're looking at Ford. Everywhere you look here, there's a Ford. Might all be in different colours, but they're Fords.
Well, you know, if you throw enough mud up against the wall, something's got to stick, Des. Oh, McConville.
Rumble off for the swing. He'll spin it around. He's going to be careful of the traffic, though. There's, as I said, 31 cars started in this race. It's an enormous amount of cars on a track like this. Away he goes again now. Johnny Bow. Let's pick up the two Supercars. And there's Craig Lowndes. Craig Lowndes up on the inside again, so he's still making a forced move. Craig Lowndes. Look for the silver car. Just out of shot. Just didn't get past that time. Here he is now, up on the inside. No, it's not him. Yes, it is. Ingall he goes past, so he's really picking up some traffic now. Here he comes again. Craig Lowndes in the brand new Ford. Ingall comes back and says, you want to take me? I'll take you on. They're almost side by side, but Lowndes keeps his boot into it. Ingall now has got to tuck in behind him.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he did the right thing then, because he's obviously having a few problems, and to have taken it right up to the inside through that corner would have been a bit silly, so he did the right thing.
Well, all this has been going on. Radicic in the lead. He's got an almost 6-second advantage there, knocking each other back, allowing Radicic just to cruise to victory. And they're on lap 5.
It's amazing, actually, John, how many times here, if somebody can just get a clear break, they do build up a lead very, very quickly. We've seen it over the years, and the battle rages in behind, and there's nothing they can do to bridge the gap.
Well, certainly all the battling that's gone on with Bow, Richards, initially with Russell Ingall, that just gave Radicic the gift that he's been looking for.
All right, there he is, Craig Lowndes, as he flashes across the start-finish line yet again. We'll take a break, come back with a big V8. Stay with us, Australia. This race looks like it's going to develop, certainly for the minor placings. There's Johnny Bow. He's had the Seaton cars right behind him. He's managed to hold them out so far. Glenn Seaton flashes past us there. Stephen Richards doing a pretty good job. First up, new team, Ford driver this year. Great indication of what's ahead in the Touring Car Championships, the Shell Championships in Australia. Mark Scape, of course, defending champion. He's out, he's in the pits.
It's amazing, isn't it? Dick Johnson really has flown the Ford flag for many, many years. We've seen Ford come in now and tip money into Seaton in the form of Tickford. We've seen them pour a heap of money into Gibson with Lowndes. And at the end of the day, it's their old Ford bloke that's going to take it off for him.
Well, there's the telemetry on board. You see the RPM, you see the speed in kilometres. Fourth gear coming down to one of the quickest parts of the circuit. Heavy braking now. All the way back down into second gear. I'm glad they got that bit right for me.
This next one's good, John. It's a really quick left-hander, and it's like probably one of the quickest chicanes of all time.
Is this flat for you, Alan?
No, not for me. Let a breakthrough there. No, this is a really good corner. Then you tuck it in. You see they put the tyres on the apex there. They put them there for the touring cars, and I'm damned if I know why. I mean, they take them off for the Formula Ones, obviously, but when the touring cars come on, they put them on the apex of the corners. Just another thing to dent your bodywork, probably. If
they weren't there, what would you do?
Go over the curb.
Oh, I wonder why.
Same as the F1 blokes do.
Yeah, but they're allowed to.
Exactly. They're allowed to wear shorts in the pits too.
Oh, the boys are at today. But isn't it a wonderful circuit when you go around and you're looking at it from this perspective the whole way round? I mean, it's just an exciting place.
It's magnificent. I mean, I think Albert Park, from the very beginning in '96 I came here, I just fell in love with the place. Just the location, everything about Victoria and Melbourne, I love it to death.
Johnny Bower doing a pretty good job. He's dropped off the Seaton team effort, the two cars that are in behind him. And he's had his problems since going there, but it looks like they're sorting those out quickly, and maybe we'll see the old John Bower come back.
Yes, well, he's as good as anybody out there, that's for sure. But I had to laugh because, with all due respect to Ford and so forth and so on, they were saying that all they needed was somebody like the calibre of Lowndes, and he is certainly one of the best touring car drivers, there's no doubt about that. But right in their own backyard for the last 2 years has been this bloke, which I reckon is the best touring car driver in Australia.
Paul Radicic. And you saw that wonderful start he made. He came off the line so hard, just ducked it up on the inside, held his nerve, held the foot down, and really once he'd done that, there were cars going every which way. He still had momentum, and that gave him the advantage. Yeah,
he got alongside Bright, which is the important thing, but of course he had his teammate Steve fall off. He did it all on his own, and of course road was open up to Paul. He doesn't need a second invitation. He dived in, took the lead, and it's just driven away from the field, who are actually falling over each other to try and prevent loss of position.
Well, if he can go on to win this, it'll be the first Ford victory.
Oh, dearie me.
Big tangle up there.
Bright and Tander or Bhagwana?
Bhagwana, that is. Little tangle off they come. Well, I was just about to say, if he goes on to win this, it'll be the first Ford victory at the Australian Grand Prix in 17 races. So that's a big duck to break.
Here's a replay of this. Oh, look, Bright going on the inside. Yeah, well, what do you say about that, John?
Well, I think there's a little bit of gamesmanship, because coming down the inside, but he was being squeezed from the left to the right. And I think that sort of instigated the whole incident. Once contact was made,
here we go.
Cuts across, try to block, contact takes place, end of story.
I think, if anything, it was probably Bhagwana's fault, because he came over too late.
Yeah, I mean, he should have read what was going on earlier.
Yeah.
If he wanted to block, he should have done it earlier. He did it too late and took two cars out.
Back with our leader, Paul Radicic, now as he makes his way around this circuit, just lifting the old girl's skirts up a little bit and looking pretty good. He's been very fast, very smooth, kept out of trouble, took a gamble off the line. It worked. Boy, did he capitalise that. Johnny Bower's done a terrific job. He's sitting in behind him. So it's Ford and Ford at the moment. And then Ford and Ford. So it's a clean sweep here.
The Johnson cars, as I said before, Daz, have never ever lacked in horsepower. That's one thing Dick's always had. There's plenty of run. I don't know whether you remember Bathurst 2 years ago, but Paul was passing cars like they were parked up Conrod Straight.
Yeah, he was very unlucky in that. I think there was, what, nine laps to go?
Yeah.
Very unlucky, but this has been a tidy performance, and he always does well here too. He likes the big events, and this is a big event. I mean, there's no championship points up for grabs, but the prestige of winning here, prize money, of course, but it's an important one corporately too, John.
Very important, and I think that Paul has risen to the occasion. We've seen that last year, but I suspect the fact that Lowndes is now a rival Ford team has not escaped his attention, and Paul is not going to want to be overshadowed by Craig Lowndes now that he's in a Ford.
Well, he won't be. That's my opinion. It's interesting to see Stephen Richards doing a great job too. He's in front of his boss.
So the two Tickford Fords, the Seaton cars.
Great colours, Daz, aren't they?
He's always had beautifully prepared cars. Len Seaton cars have always been very distinctive, and it's a really nice paint job, isn't it? Race winding down now, and you can see Seaton there. That's his view.
Well, if he gave Richards a tap up the backside, Richards could hardly complain or protest, could he?
He may do it privately, but not publicly.
Along the main straight area too, past the commentary box to your left is us now. And the Seaton now chases Richards as they swing in here to the right.
Very important to keep the car in reasonably tight there and get a nice big long run through. As the right-hand rear tyre starts to go off a little bit, it gets more increasingly difficult to go through there flat because the back wants to step out on you. But it is important because you go onto this reasonably long straight into a corner which does represent a good passing spot.
You tend to overrun into turn one, you get in too late, the car gets unstable all the way to the front, the back end starts to dictate where the car's going, and of of course, that only antagonises rear tyre wear. So cool it into part 1, get on with the programme in part 2.
6.6 seconds separating Paul Radicic from Johnny Bowe. So he's pulled out. He hasn't backed off at all. He's decided he's going to make this a pretty convincing win. But Johnny Bowe's had a pretty lonely race in second, but good job. And I'm really pleased this team has come good because, gee, they've put a lot of time, effort, money, and they've had a lot of bad luck. They've been involved in a lot of people's accidents.
Yeah, well, particularly last year, you're absolutely right. There's no question about this. As Lowndesy is taking it up to... see the number, but no, John's, look, John's, as I said before, he's certainly one of the best drivers in Australia. The car's very well presented, and Todd Kelly's doing a really good job. He's got Craig Lowndes behind him, and he is the front-running Holden at this stage.
Well, I was about to say, he's the best of the Holden runners at the moment. Lowndes all over him around the back. He'd like to pick up another place. Of course, they'll race again tomorrow. They had a race yesterday won by Mark Scaife. He hasn't figured in this at all. He had to go straight to the pit, so he's out of that. So it'll be another interesting grid formation tomorrow, and the Holden boys are going to do it tough because they'll be back further.
Absolutely. That Kmart Holden is actually owned and operated by HRT, and for want of a better word, it's the third car. And hello, looks like Richards has got past Bowie. So Bowie's the sandwich now in between the two Seaton cars.
Well, that's a big run because this is the last lap, so if he's going to do it, that was the time to do it. Stephen Richards powered past John Bowe, who we just said a minute ago was so lonely in second place.
Well, I know John, and I tell you what, given it was the last lap, that was a good move because John drives probably the widest car in Australia.
He's going to lose another slot as well because there's he down the outside. Difficult to go round the outside. If John's as tough as that, he's not going to concede.
Seaton now trying to do the best he can. So obviously Johnny Bowe has either tyre problems or he's got a minor problem that's just lost him a little bit of power.
He's got a horsepower problem, I think. But I tell you, he's a hard man to pass.
He'd be disappointed because, the team's been trying to get up to the front end of the grid. They've had the occasional very good runs, but as I've said, they've had so much trouble. If there's ever an accident, he seems to get hit by everybody.
I tell you what, he doesn't seem to have too much horsepower problem there.
No, but I think he's got a handling problem. He has to go slow on the corner, slow Seaton down, then he can squirt out of the corner, get the advantage back again. Seaton's just got to think about where he's got as an advantage, just take it and on this last lap.
Well, Richards has pulled a bit of a gap since he went past, hasn't he? And he's done it pretty quickly.
Yeah, see, John doesn't seem to be suffering any horsepower problems there, but he is braking a little earlier than normal. This is where Seaton gets right up on him under the brakes and into the corner. So I suggest now that this... Oh, a bit sideways. That'll give Seaton the opportunity maybe to get the run on him.
So Johnny Bowe now swings the big cat car around, and here comes Seaton, just blast past him all.
Not on the outside.
Past him, not yet on the outside he won't. Johnny Bowe just moves across, takes the line, cuts him off again. So Johnny Bowe holds his position in third place now. Lowndes has passed Kelly too. I just got a glimpse there. So it's Ford.
Look at
1
this.
to 5.
Oh,
this is
we've missed
Ford's 1 back through 5. Paul Radicic, he'll take the checkered flag, he'll take the win with a brilliant drive, and he did it all in the first corner too. But look at this. Fantastic.
I tell you what, Lowndes looks
Richards, Lowndes, he'll get third.
Yep.
Craig Lowndes goes across in third place. What a drive. He's come from way, way back in the field.
That bodes well for him for tomorrow, Des.
Well, he'll go straight up the grid tomorrow.
But Seaton and Bowe got together in turn 15, and that gave Craig Lowndes the chance. He saw it, he got up to speed, he could take the advantage coming off 16 and just powered past the other two.
Well, who would have thought Ford's 1 back through 5, AJ?
I wouldn't have, that's for sure.
Unbelievable. Now, here's a replay. Have a look, fellas.
Oh, yeah, silly. They just... Deary me.
Well, if there's an opportunity given...
I told you he's a hard man, John. Oh, another bit of contact between Kelly and Lowndes. But Lowndes comes out of it best of all. Yeah,
but just Bowe is slow off the corner. He hasn't got the grip. Lowndes has got the grunt and the grip, and he just sweeps past, no trouble.
Well, the minor battle, or the battle for the minor placing's fantastic. Paul Radicic, he just cleared out and cleaned them up big time. There he is, the winner today. Mark Scaife yesterday for Holden. Today it's Paul Radicic for Ford. And have a look at the Fords here. Paul Radicic, Stephen Richards, Craig Lowndes, John Bowe, Todd Kelly, the first of the Holdens, Russell Ingall Holden. So this battle will continue tomorrow, and I think Lowndesy might have a bit to say to the public on the way back through the paddock. All right, Eddie, the V8s, Fords have had a big win here. First in 17 races, Paul Radich. You're a bit of a specialist round here.
You can say that again, Daryl.